you ready for this? Hi, my name is Ruth. I am the knitting Hobbit, and welcome to my little podcast. I am really wondering if you're. I am really wondering if you are ready for this, because I have so much to show you. It is insane. I don't know what to say. So last time I filmed, I already had a lot to show, and I already had quite a lot of whips, if I remember correctly. But then the weekend after that, I went to Crea weekend in Rijswijk here in the Netherlands with a friend of mine. So I wasn't able to film that weekend, and over there I met the lovely Kylie from the Happy Kiwi shop, or Happy Kiwi Stitch Markers. I've mentioned her a lot on my podcast because I love her project bags and her little stitch markers. And I use them and show them a lot. And I also met the lovely Lianne from Sheep Yarns. I hadn't bought from her before, but I do have a little acquisition for her that's already in a whip to show you guys. And then, the week before Crea weekend, I got sick. So I didn't film that weekend because I was sick, and then it was Crea weekend. And then last week, what happened last week? I don't know. I just wasn't really in the mood to film, I feel like. But now we are back. My parents are on holiday, so I'm home alone, and I will probably film some kind of other video this weekend to post next week. I thought I'm kind of like, this will probably upload too late for you to be able to give your opinion on this. But I was thinking maybe just like a little knitting vlog, or just a general weekend vlog that will have a lot of knitting. Maybe another sewing video, because in the meantime I did upload my very first sewing video. It didn't do that well compared to my podcast videos, but I had a lot of fun making it. So I might do another one in the future. But it does take a lot more time and a lot more effort to also film while you're sewing. So that won't be a very regular thing, just every once in a while when I have something I would like to share the process of, or, if I feel like filming the process, even if it may be a bit boring or not, we'll see. So all that happened, and now we're here, and my parents are on holiday, and it's just really nice and lovely to be home alone for the first time in a while again. If you know me, you know that I am very much an introvert. I love being on my own. I really treasure the time that I'm on my own. Even back when I lived in Scotland, I was living with my then boyfriend. I really cherished the times when he went like out with friends and stuff, and I was just alone. I love it. Can't wait to get my own place, but housing market in the Netherlands is still shit. So let's get on with it. What I am wearing, this is really excited. Also, my face looks quite a bit red. That's because this is very warm. It's suddenly spring again, so I'm quickly gonna talk about it, and then I'm probably gonna take it off. So this, if you've been following me for a while, this will look familiar, and you'll suddenly be like, when did you finish this? When did you knit on this? When did this happen? And the fact is that I think the last time I showed you, the body was done. So I'll stand up. I'm already in my sweatpants, but we don't care here. So this is the Kofte by Skeender Knits, and it is this really amazing drop shoulder Norwegian jacket cardigan. Let me scoot back, and then we get up a bit. I feel a bit low. That's better. So this is the Kofte, and I knit the entire body. But then when I cast off the body, I just ran out of steam. I didn't really enjoy the project that much. I do like color work, this was a bit too much color work for me. And there was also the thing that I tightened up in my stitch gauge a lot as I went up, and just up here my stitch gauge got quite a bit tighter, which meant that it just wasn't fitting how I wanted it to be, and the armholes were a bit smaller, the shoulder wasn't quite as dropped and oversized, and I just wasn't really feeling it. But then my mum came to me. My mum is also a knitter. She absolutely adores knitting color work. She loves it, and she came to me asking if I had anything for her to finish or to knit on, and I thought, this is perfect. This needs sleeves. So my mum enjoys knitting. She loves knitting color work, but she hates wearing knitwear, picking out a pattern, picking out yarn, picking out the colors, that whole process that I really adore as well. She really doesn't like. And she never wears it. So whenever she knits, it's generally a gift knit. Her skin, she's fine while knitting on it, but when wearing it, her skin is very sensitive. So yeah, I handed her this thing, and she knit the sleeves for me, and then she also did the bottom bands and like the finishing stuff. And I'm really happy with it. I've just been living in this when I'm at home. It's too warm at the moment to be taken to the office because spring is here. But in evenings when it cools down, it's just so nice and so cozy to just throw this big like warm color work, double layer, DK weight, 100% wool cardigan on. So this is knit in Drops Charisma. The colors and everything is up on Ravelry. I always have my Instagram, my Ko-Fi and my Ravelry linked down below. I'll have the project pages for everything I mentioned linked down below. If Ravelry is for some reason not accessible to you, or if you cannot find an answer to what you would like to know, definitely just leave a question down below, and don't be afraid, and definitely feel free to ask things down in the comment section, and I'll do my best to reply like within a day or so. I generally do, I feel like, if there is a question. So yeah. So the only thing is with this, so I told you I tightened up my gauge above here, and my mum was absolutely on gauge. So the sleeve is a bit bigger, and you can see it like bobbles here. It is a bit bigger than the armhole, and the only thing, it kind of feels bad because she did all this for me, but this is the one thing that I feel like if I would have done this myself, I would have taken that extra fabric and like moved it under and just made it like bobbly over here instead of on top. There's this like big bulge here, and you can feel it as well. But yeah, that's the only thing. Otherwise, I'm really happy with it. And this might just, it's already been washed and blocked and everything, but it might just like chill down over time as well. We'll see. So that's everything about the Kosekov. That I'm going to take this off now because it is warm. So then I have another finished object, and this one is very exciting, and from here on out it's everything I've knit myself. Fully myself. Let me quickly take a little sip. So my next finished object is a test knit, and this was a test knit for Fiber Tales. If you've seen my previous episodes and seen my Instagram, you know exactly what it is. It is the Wildnis sweater by Finsihed, and I am absolutely in love with this. Let me move aside my drink so I don't accidentally drop a sleeve in it, and I'll show you up close. So this is the gorgeous textured yoke, and so this is the Wildnis sweater by Finsihed. She doesn't have a set release date yet, but the end of testing is the end of April, so the end of this month. So maybe in May somewhere. I don't know really if there's much more to do to the pattern after testing. I think will probably kind of depend on that. So I knit the second size because I kind of like got into the test knit very last minute, and I like put my little butt in there. Because the spots were filled up so insanely quick, and I really wanted to knit this. So I messaged her and I was like, oh no. And then she asked me what size I wanted to do, because I am in between sizes. I have a 90 centimeter circumference bust, and I think the size small was like 85 and a size medium was like 95. I might be wrong, but I was in between sizes, and I can remember it was like a 5 centimeter difference, if I'm correct, if I'm remembering this correctly. I don't have the pattern or anything in front of me right now. So I was like, I'm fine knitting either of them. I prefer the small, but the medium is fine as well. I'll just have a bit more positive ease, and that's fine. But I tend to go for a little less positive ease, because I think the recommended amount is 20, so then I would have 15, which I thought was a like nice amount. So I got into the small, and I'm really happy. The only mistakes that I found weren't like really mistakes, just some little bits that needed some clarification, and she's already updated the pattern and clarified it. For example, there's this little ridge that you do on the bottom of the ribbing, and mine I had to fudge a little bit later, so it might look a little bit different on other testers, but I was already quite far into the yoke when she revised that part, and I was like, oh shit, I have to like fudge the ridge in there. So that's kind of what I did. Not really how it's supposed to look, but it's close enough. It is close enough. And everything else, if I remember correctly, it was pretty clear. The only thing she really asked of us is to mention if there's any puckering, and I don't think there is. I see like a very slight amount over here when I look into the camera, but honestly that might have just been because of how it's been laying down. I've worn it already to the Crea weekend and to work, and it's been absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, really happy with it. I used Knitting for Olive Merino. It's a fingering weight sweater, and the color I used was petrol green, so it is this really lovely pretty color, and I am just chuffed with this. Really happy. So, finished objects done. Onto the absolutely massive pile of whips. And we have a knit along to talk about. So stay tuned for that, or maybe we'll do that first. That might be a good idea, so I don't forget it and people don't like hang off, like go away and do their other things if they get bored of me. So let's do that first. So I have been falling in love with Brioche. A little while ago I saw the Skeins of Dreams, Blankets of Dreams smell, and I was like, I think the Creabea said that she had FOMO, fear of missing out, and I was like, me too girl, me too. So I cast on one thing, and then I went to Crea weekend, and I cast on the next Brioche thing, which we'll talk more about a little bit later, both of them. And as I've been posting these projects, I've just been hearing from people that they're so scared to try brioche, that brioche is so intimidating to them, and yeah, just everything in that direction. And I want to hear more, I tried brioche and I loved it, or I'm so glad I gave it a go and did it. So what I really wanted to do is encourage people to give it a go, to try it out, and to just do it. So I have started something scary, and it is already started. I announced it on Instagram, and I put a little community post, my very first little community post up here on YouTube, and I have started my very first knit along. So it is the Brioche knit along. The hashtag is KH for knitting Hobbit. Brioche along. I'll tag it down below as well, and it is in the posts as well if you want to look back to that. I have also made a Ravelry group, and the thing is, I want people to knit a fully brioched is that a new word? Fully brioche something. It can be anything. It can be a hat, it can be socks, it can be a jumper, my voice, a jumper, or a blanket, or a cardigan, or anything. So I have said fully brioche, except for like when you need to do edging. For example, I did the September cardigan. That one is pretty much fully brioche, but at the bottom of the body and the cuffs and the button band, talking is hard, that is just normal 1x1 ribbing. So I was like brioche except for maybe like the edging or stuff like that, and I'm not going to be too strict on those rules, but if it's just a half brioche shawl, that's like, and Maori has this gorgeous, I think it's got the cinnabar shawl, but that literally like cuts in the middle or at 2/3 or somewhere like that, where one side is brioche and one side isn't. Like, that's not enough. The border doesn't have to be brioche, but the brioche has to be like the main thing you're knitting. So yeah, I know someone has already cast on socks. For example, there's the Believe sock, which has a lace border and then like brioche down the front. And of course, it's fine if you knit a sock that you do not do brioche on the bottom of the foot, because that doesn't seem very comfortable to me, and I don't just want to rule out socks in general. So, you know, take it with a little bit grain of salt. If you're unsure, you can ask. I have made a Ravelry group, although I am not super active. I try to be, I really do try, but the forum system, it's just not my best friend. So I try, but there's already some other people in there that I am in a very small Discord group in, and they kind of like know me, and I don't know, they're already in there, so maybe they'll respond. They're a bit more active than me. So yeah, knit something brioche. I have put the deadline at September 1st, and there will be prizes, but I haven't got them yet because I kind of started this on a whim. So actually what I wanted to ask you, if you participate, what would you like to win? There will be 2 prizes, one for the finished object thread in Ravelry and one for the Instagram hashtag. So in the hashtag you can post whips, and then on Ravelry it's just finished projects. So there will be 2 prizes. I was thinking something Dutch, because that might not be something that everybody can get their hands on. But otherwise, I was thinking yarn, maybe a book, you know, something like that. Yeah. That was that. Let's talk about the projects. So, on top of here, I'll just start with the one that's on top, which is the jumper. So, this is... Oh god, I was scared for a second that my needle fell out, but it didn't. Let me grab a needle stopper. I have loads lying around. So, these stoppers, of course, are from the Happy Kiwi shop. As is this adorable bag that my yarn is in. These are from her summer collection. They're adorable, and she gave me a little sneak peek at her summer collection and let me pick out something, so that was really nice. So thank you, Kylie. And then the yarn is from Sheep Yarns, which was her Kylie's neighbor at the fair. I left one skein up to show you, like a proper podcaster, I felt like. So this is labeled, it's Sheep Yarns, and dyed in the Netherlands, sourced from I never know how to pronounce this, Mulising breeders. So I googled that, and I believe that means that they do not cut off like skin at the butts of the sheep, but treat them instead of maiming them. So that's good. Hand wash in cold water, mild bleeding, blah blah blah. And then this is the sock base. This is just because this is what she had most of when I was at the fair, and I wanted to buy it then and not like order from her and have to wait. So this is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. It's 100 grams, 40 meters, standard fingering weight sock yarn, and the shade is bouquet. Ooh, sorry. I just had curry, and that was a curry burp. So it is this amazing, like it matches my nails. It's this amazing lilac, blue lilac-y color with the pink speckles, and I just think it is absolutely gorgeous. I really love it. So I got 3 skeins of this, which is about 1200 meters, which is generally enough for me for a jumper. So then I cast on this, which is the Wind Whistles by Le Garçon. Le Garçon, do I pronounce that correctly? Typically Dutch people get French in high school, but I never did, so excuse me if I didn't. But it is this gorgeous brioche jumper. There will still be like a proper neckline ribbing added. And I am just knitting away on the body. I am just attaching the second ball of yarn here, and I am knitting up the little ends of the other one. So what I'm doing is, because this is obviously hand dyed, I am first I knit this one. Sorry, I have to think. I knit this one on the purl rounds and this one still on the knit rounds, because this was the main color back then. And then after a couple rounds like that, I swapped it. So this was the knit rounds and this was the purl rounds. The doorbell. Okay, I'm back. Didn't open the door, it was a salesman. So, Wind Whistles by Le Garçon. That feels very French pronunciation. Might be correct, might not be. And it has such a fun construction. I never have done anything like it. So you cast on the stitches like between here on the back, and you knit back and forth, but not just to knit the back, you also knit the front back and forth. So you increase along this shoulder ridge, and then at a certain point you increase for the sleeves. It's kind of hard to show with the speckled yarn, I feel like. There you go. You increase for the sleeve so it goes down like that. And then at some point you join in the round by casting on a bunch of stitches in the middle here, and then join in the round. And from there on out, you're just knitting in a round, increasing for the sleeves, like a normal raglan. And I think it looks it looks so nice to have this kind of like saddle shoulder construction here, and then down to the raglan. I'm really curious to see how this will wear over time, because the brioche will probably stretch out quite a bit. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying this. I am decently into the body. I've been working on this I cast this on last week, and I'm on it for the whole week, and then I think either last weekend or beginning of this week I split the body. So maybe like another week or so if I can focus a bit, and the body might be done. We will see. I am really enjoying this, and I am happy with how it's turning out, and I think the colors are gorgeous, and I'm really curious to see how this will block and wear, and just I think it will be amazing. But yeah, we will also see what the weather is going to do, because if it gets a lot warmer, I might not want to knit on a woolly sweater, but we will see. For now, this is going back into the bag. So these are, by the way, if you're curious, this is the medium-sized bag, and I will hold these so they don't wrinkle. And they can easily fit like a fingering weight jumper project. So they'll also be good for shawls and stuff like that. I will hang this one up again with my little project bag organizing system I have going on over here. So this one then is, I'll hold it like this. Whoop. Oh no, we're okay, I think. Just one. So this one is the Brioche Chevron blanket by West Knits. If you've been here for longer as well, you'll know I love West Knits. And this is my scrappy blanket, and as you can see, it is a lot of fun and I'm really enjoying it. Over there I have this really big basket full of all of my scraps, and I've just been dumping them in there over time. So it is so good to finally be using them, and I am really enjoying this. I think this will be so cozy and snuggly and warm and just amazing. So yeah, I had this like inclination, like I need to talk about the yarn, but it's too much yarn. I'm not going to talk about the yarn. I'm just going to say that this is a DK weight to worsted weight maybe blanket, and I am, which means I can use up most of my scraps, but yeah. So what I do is I have held fingering weight with mohair, I've held fingering weight double, I have just done one strand of DK, I am currently have this one going on that is these two together, so a fingering weight with a suri. These are both leftovers from my fantastic shawl. That is the one that I just started, and yeah. Also, there's some whole super soft held double. This is a little end of it, and I love it. I think this is going to look absolutely like so cool. This is the other side. So what I'm doing is the same thing that Stephen did. So I'm holding the variegated yarns on one side, and then I'm holding the more solid yarns on the other side, which will give you a really fun like party side and a bit more of a normal side with still the variegated speck popping through, of course. And I am really enjoying it. So with this I am using the needles that I showed you in the last episode, which are the Knit Pro self-love needles. These are the 5mm needles, and they've been really nice to work with. And this cable, as you can see, the memory proofness, it works. It is not quite, I feel like it's a little bit less flexible than my Chaigu cables, but they're absolutely amazing. So the only thing I would say with the flexibleness is they might not be as nice for magic loop, where you really want the cable to like double up. But it will still work. It's not like it wouldn't work, but they're just that little bit less flexible, which you notice when you do magic loop. Otherwise, I'm really happy with them. Really happy with these needles. They feel really sleek and soft. And you know, the Knit Pro joins are still the Knit Pro joins. They are not as good as Chaigu, but they are decent. They work. They're well enough, good enough for me. So that is this all brioche blanket. I think there's one more project that includes brioche, but wouldn't count for the knit along. So also, if you want some pattern inspiration for the knit along, I have made like a favorites bundle on Ravelry with some patterns that I absolutely adore that are all like would be fine for the knit along. Although I do have to warn you, most of them are big projects, so cardigans, sweaters and shawls. But there's loads more to be found out there. If you want something small, if you're like a beginner brioche knitter, you can, for example, knit the Harlow hat or the Harlow worsted Ria Maori. That will be a great thing to do. And then after that, you can try a jumper. So then, let's see. I will show the one at the back here next. So I cannot remember at what point it was when I knit on this last. Also, I hope I can film this before the sun goes down. The sun is like at the back of the house in the evenings, and I'm like watching it go up like our back door neighbor's house. So I'm hoping we'll have light for all of it. But we'll see. I cannot remember at what point this was last time, but I'm just going to show it and I'm just going to talk about it and we'll see. So I haven't knitted that much on this in the last couple of weeks, but because it's been so long, I might have done a lot of progress. I really don't know. Maybe I should watch back my episodes before I film a new one. That might be a good idea, but we'll see if I ever get around to that. So this I can actually put on and just talk about it, which is easier than just showing you. This is the gown cardigan, and this pattern is by Irene Lin. I again have to be careful, letting everything drop. I again have to be careful I do not drop my stitches, so let me grab some more needle stoppers. So, gown cardigan by Irene Lin. You start it in the back, knit the cable, pick up the stitches, do the increases. What's the saying? Bob's your uncle? So I have only just split for the body and the sleeves. And what I plan to do is, because this cardigan can be any length. It looks great long, it looks great shorter, it can be anything. So the plan is to knit up the balls that are currently attached into the body, and then I want to pick up the sleeves, knit the sleeves, and then get back to the body, and then just knit the body until I run out of yarn, because the button band is already on there. There is no buttons. The border thing is already on there. So that's all you have to do. So that's the plan. I think these cables are gorgeous. I've kind of lost motivation in it, but I'll pick it up again soon. Don't have much more to say about it because it's been a while since I've knit on this. The yarn. The yarn is Knitting for Olive in the best color name, which is Unicorn Purple. And this is the merino, the fingering weight, and this is the soft silk mohair. And it makes it really nice and fluffy and just like kind of ethereal in this color as well with the cables. I love it. It is really nice and soft, and it will be so great when it's done. It will be so amazing to wear this. So that is that. Then there's one project that is like back from the dead. I started this project. I loved this project. I did a lot on it, this project. Got bored of this project. But now I fell back in love with this. So as I am knitting so much brioche, I kind of wanted a project to give my hands a break. And instead of casting on something new, I was like, I have the perfect web for this. So the cone is back with, I feel in a really funny mood, with the Mosaic Musing shawl from West Knits. It's gorgeous. It really is gorgeous. I'm just gonna like put this. It's not working how I want it to. Put this on here. I'll talk about it. So I'm knitting this in Holst Super Soft. I have this massive cone. This is the colorway Oxford. This is a 500-gram cone. And that's that. And the second color is Rosebud, which I love. It is this really soft, amazing pink. And I feel like together with the dark grey, it just looks so lovely. It is like a really stark contrast, but it's not like a bright contrast. Does that make sense? Like it's a very, very clear contrast, but it's still like a bit soft, because this is dark grey and not black, and this is like pink but not white. So it makes it just a bit softer while still being like definite, very clear contrast. And I love it. So I am currently knitting the big garter section, which is just the perfect break for my hands when I'm doing all that brioche. And I dropped a stitch or 3. God. And then after this, there's one more. This is the back, by the way. It's pretty cool as well. Then after this, there is one more big mosaic section where it goes like ziggy-zaggy. And then there's a border, but I do not like the border. I just don't think it fits that well with the, I feel like the style of this shawl is very modern, and very like, how do you say that in English? In Dutch I would say like strak, like clear lines and, you know, kind of like that. And then the border is just like kind of lacy-ish with like the pointy bits, and I'm just not a fan. So I was thinking, let me grab it. Last year I knit the Fantastic, and I was thinking of doing the chevron border on the Mosaic Musing. So like this border. I think that would look cute. And then just do the I-cord edging. That's like same as this. Yeah. I think I'll do that. If you have any other ideas for borders that kind of go with the style of this shawl, I'll be happy to hear it. But otherwise, let me see if I can kind of like get this to show next to each other. Of course the colors are going to be completely different, but then you can kind of see the style. Yeah. Not doing it. the thing is as well, my Fantastic is fucking huge. It is a blanket. Okay, so we have this. This border with this shawl. I think that will go. That is the worst way to show it. Oh look, there we go. There we go. That will go, right? If it's the same colors. I think that will be pretty good. So I'll probably do that. Yeah, loving this shawl. Don't have much to say about it because at the moment it is just garter stitch. Which we all know can be pretty boring, but for me at the moment it's absolutely perfect. So that is that. What do we have next? Because we are still not done. 2 more projects to go. Yes, I believe that is it. 2 more projects. So, in this, another adorable bag from Happy Kiwi, I have a plant-based project. So, the lovely, I keep forgetting her name every time I podcast. Is it Martina? I am so sorry if I'm wrong. But she has the We Grow Wild podcast. And I think she's really amazing. She's such a, I don't know. I've never met her, but she just seems like such a nice person. And, such a kind of, calming but happy presence. And she's doing this very low-key knit-along that she's kind of hosting on Discord, which maybe I should have done. I love Discord. Is it too late to move from Revelry to Discord? I don't know. I feel like it's too late now. Oh well. The thing is just knit something in plant-based yarns. I feel like, although everyone is doing garments, I love knitting garments anyway, but I don't know if that's a requirement. Not sure. And first I cast on this. This is not much yet, although this has been cast on for a while. If the weather starts to warm up, I'm definitely going to pick this up more. But this is the Ursina. Ursina from Jacqueline. Oh my god, that's a big insect. Sorry, got distracted. There's a window in between us, but it was this big. There's Ursina by Jacqueline Cieslak. And it is the sport weight version of there's also a worsted weight version in the same pattern of the bulky weight Ursa sweater. And I am knitting this in Katia Tencel Cotton Best Basics. This is color 31 and this is 67% lyocell and 33% cotton. And it feels really nice and soft and it's just lovely sagey green and I think it's really pretty. I just haven't knit that much on it quite yet. But as the weather starts warming up again, I will definitely be picking this up again. I'll probably at some point, if this spring weather is gonna hold on, there's gonna be a point where I just ditch the merino brioche jumper and pick this up. So this has brioche details at the raglan increases. There's one at the center back. There will be one, because it's a v-neck, so I'm knitting back and forth at the moment. There will be one at the center front, and then it's kind of gonna move like a pyramid. It's falling over. So it's gonna be like this in brioche. Below my arms it's gonna be brioche. Above my arms is gonna be stockinette in a pyramid shape at the bottom. And it's gonna be really cute. And It's quite oversized, so it's gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be this like nice flowy throw on jumper when you just want that little bit of an extra layer. Or maybe I'm also kind of hoping it will not be too warm to kind of like wear when you're like kind of starting to get a little bit sunburned, maybe, or you're scared you're gonna get sunburned. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, but we will see. So yeah, that's that project. I'm really excited for it. It's going to be gorgeous, I think, and it's going to be amazing. But for now, it's kind of on hold. Not really knitting on it that much. And then the last project. So, a while ago, I think a word in one of the podcast episodes, I knit the Chaika by Midori Hirose, who's the same designer as the Ranunculus. And I didn't like it. I really didn't. It is in an amazing yarn. Like, it's not the yarn's fault. I wore it as a pajama top because I was not going to wear it out of the door, but it was really comfortable. That's how it looks. It was very comfy, just not very pretty. In my personal opinion, you might love yours, but it might also be how mine like grew over time, and it just kept falling off my shoulders, and I hate when clothes do that. So a while ago I decided I wanted to frog it, and I've been looking at patterns but wasn't really sure, because I'm still like, with the yarn and stuff, I'm not very like super comfortable yet knitting with plant-based yarns, just because it behaves quite a bit differently than animal fibers do. So I decided to go back to the trusty old ranunculus. So I just cast this on last night, and this is what I have got so far. So I'm just like in the second texture, but the thing is, because I frogged this, it is the gorgeous noodle yarn. I've quite a bunch of these skeins, because the Chaika, you keep like knitting a bit, breaking the yarn, picking up somewhere else, knitting a bit, breaking the yarn, picking up somewhere else, knitting a bit, you know. So I have lots of little cakes. This was the biggest one, because I felt like it would be best to start with the biggest one, and then just move into the smaller ones as I kind of go. I don't know why, I just felt that felt good. So yeah, back to my comfort knit. I changed a couple things this time. So I was too lazy to do the tubular cast on, but I also didn't want the white neckline. So what I did is I just used a long tail cast on and casted on the amount of stitches for the white neckline, and then knit the ribbing, and then I saw it was going to be wide, so I added in a little elastic, like I do with a lot of my cardigans and some of my jumpers, that just need like a little extra help at the neckline, to kind of like stay together and not like stretch out a lot. So that's what I did here. It will still be like loose, it won't be a tight neckline, like I still have lots of space in here, but it will just kind of help it to kind of hold together. And the other modification I made, also kind of out of laziness, is that I just did the short rows on the back and I didn't do them on the front, because I always felt a little bit weird anyway about doing short rows in the front. So yeah, that's what I did. And yeah, this is just a ranunculus. I feel like everyone has knit one. There's not that much like special about it anymore. I just love it. I love the pattern. I love wearing it. It's so nice to just like when you're wearing a tank top or even just like a sports bra, to just throw it over and just have that little bit of extra layer, that little bit of extra coverage. Yeah, that's it. So that's what I'm doing. with the frog yarn. And I have another summer knit that I want to frog and knit something else out of. Last year I also knit the spring sorrel, and that's also just not what I would want with that yarn. It's just not really working out for me. I never wear it. Like last summer I thought, oh, I'll knit all these short sleeve things and then I will wear them with cardigans, and I never do. The only one that I actually wear is my Provence top, which is the lilac-y one, and that one is just gorgeous. But the spring sorrel and the chaika I just never wear. The chaika I've even worn more as a pajama top than I've worn my spring sorrel in general. I've literally never worn that, except for when I just finished it. So yeah, that's just a waste, and it was a really nice yarn because that one is in cotton cashmere. So my plan for that is to knit a Felix jumper out of it, because it's like heavy DK kind of, and Felix is like worsted, so I thought that might be nice. And I've not knit a Felix yet, and I'm really excited to try that pattern. And I think Mega from Skeins of Dreams just did a summer Felix, and I want one too. So I felt like I talked for forever. I hope I wasn't too rambly. I sometimes feel like I have to slow myself down and like calm down and take your time. But as well, when I get excited about stuff, I start talking faster, and then sometimes I don't get out my words and I kind of stutter, and it's just, so I hope that it was okay. Yeah. Do I have anything lifelike to talk about? I'm first gonna pause, so it's gonna be a bit easier to get on onto my laptop. So yeah, this weekend I have the long weekend off. Not sure, I'm going to film something extra, so there will be something next week as well. I think I'll probably schedule it for Friday, maybe Saturday. We'll see, probably Friday. And that will just be a little extra bonus thing. And then I don't know when I'll be able to, podcast again, but we will see that in the future. Halfway May, I kind of did want to mention it. Halfway May, I am going to the Handwerkbeurs in Zwolle, here in the Netherlands. It is a generally fiber related, like crafts fair. So I was just looking at like what kind of shops are going to be there, and it seemed like there was going to be a lot of yarn, but also like sewing machines and fabrics, and there's also going to be some embroidery stuff. So I'm really excited to be going there. I was curious if I'm going to see you there, maybe. I'm probably going, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think I'm going on the Saturday. So we'll see. Oh my god, I forgot a whip. I have another whip. I thought that was done. I'm going to have so much to tag in the description box. I'm so sorry, this episode is officially a mess. Let's quickly get back to whip modus and talk about this, because I have socks. God, I'm terrible. So I am in the Discord of the lovely Kat from Heather and Hobbs. She has a Discord server, and Dimi in there asked for test knitters for her worsted weight socks, and I had some Christmassy sock yarn. Like, it doesn't look too Christmassy because it's pink, but the label says it's Christmas. This is Lana Grossa Meilenwijd 6 Fogs, 150 grams merino Christmas. So it's 80% merino, 20% polyamide. And I thought, I need house socks. So I finished one. If you follow me, you know that I usually knit my socks 2 at a time. But I kind of wanted to give small circumference a go. And I do quite enjoy it. I also started a normal sock on small circumference, but not loving that one. But I do enjoy it with this weight. So this, I kind of felt like putting it on my hand to show you so I could show you the texture properly. This is the Fairy Gathering socks. There is also a fingering weight version of it already up on a Ravelry, but this is the worsted weight version. And yeah, I think it's really lovely. It's a lot of fun to knit this texture. It is really easy. It is actually a very similar texture to the beginning of the ranunculus. And yeah, easy, simple knit. Knit this one, I feel like in 2 evenings maybe 2 days. I'm not sure, it was 2 or something. Not 2 weeks, but 2 evenings or 2 days. And then I cast on the second one because I was like, second sock syndrome is why I knit 2 at a time. It's not gonna happen to me. It is happening to me. I cast this on weeks ago, haven't touched it. But because this is Christmas sock yarn, I had to get my little, focus. Oh, wrong way. Here we go, kind of. My little scent on an alpaca out, which is also from the Happy Kiwi. It's adorable. But this one is just sitting over here on the side of my desk, untouched. That was the last whip. We are done. I'm leaving. I will stop that abruptly. But yeah, this was everything. I hope you enjoyed it. Bit of a shit show, but we're okay. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.